Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om. May the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace.
We praise the name of Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna. You are Rama, you are Krishna, you are incarnation of Vishnu in human form. You are embodiment of compassion. Whoever came to you, you fulfill their desires. You are Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. You are the salvation of suffering beings. Your name takes us across the Bhavasagar, ocean of life. We bow down to you 1,000,000 times. Jai Ramakrishna Bhagavan, Jai Ramakrishna Bhagavan. Ram tum hi ho, Krishna tum hi ho, Ram tum hi ho, Krishna tum hi ho, Manav Rupi Vishnu tum hi ho, Jai ho Karuna Nidhan, Jai Ram Krishna Bhagavan, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Bhagavan. द्वार तुम्हारे जो आया, जो मांगा उसने पाया। द्वार तुम्हारे जो आया, जो मांगा उसने पाया। कल्पतरु भगवान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। प्रभु जी तुम दाता सबके, संकट में त्राता सबके। प्रभु जी तुम दाता सबके, संकट में त्राता सबके। सबका करो कल्याण, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। नाम तुम्हारा जो गाए, भव सागर वो तर जाए। नाम तुम्हारा जो गाए, भव सागर वो तर जाए। चरणों में लाख प्रणाम, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान।
I'm reading from the book Hindu Gods and Goddesses by Swami Harshananda. Here, the concept of God in Hinduism. The Hindu concept of God has two special features. Depending upon the needs and tastes of his votaries, he can appear to them in any form they like to worship and respond through that form. He can also incarnate himself among human beings in order to lead them to his own kingdom. Then there is another aspect of God as the absolute Brahman. Brahman is the name usually given to this aspect. It means what is infinitely big. It is the infinite itself. It transcends everything that is created, yet it is immanent too, immanent in all that is created. It is so unlike anything we know that it defies all description. It has been stated that the only way by which it can be predicated is the negative way. Not this, not this. In its own essential nature, it is defined as Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. It is the basis or substratum of all existence, consciousness, and joy. Metaphysics points towards Brahman, the absolute. A thinking mind and a feeling heart, that is what a human being is, can accept only God, the creator, and the ruler, Ishvara, since the world is very much a reality to it. The correlation between the Brahman and this Ishvara, though instinctively felt by the feeling heart, will ever remain an enigma to the thinking mind. Could this be due to the mysterious power of Maya? Now, Shakti, or the divine power as the goddess. The universe that we see and experience is a bundle of energy, both packed and unpacked. This is the discovery of modern science, which incidentally has demolished the distinction between matter and energy. According to it, there is one basic energy behind all forms of matter and energy. However, it seems to be still far off from discovering the relationship between matter on one hand and the mind and life on the other. Are they also, though apparently poles apart, manifestations of the same basic energy? Could it be that the same energy or matter at one level of vibration is called matter, at another mind, and yet another life? Modern science and modern scientists devoting most of their attention to this manifest material universe may not even be prepared to concede this possibility. Hindu philosophy based on the Vedanta and a group of works based on the Vedanta, and more commonly known as the Tantras, postulates exactly this. Tantras are a vast body of Hindu religious literature devoted to expounding the cult of the Divine Mother, the source and sustenance of all creation, whether at the level of matter or the life or mind, is one and only one. It is Shakti, which is equal to energy, Brahman, the absolute of the Vedanta, and Shakti or Devi of the Tantras, they are identical. When that energy is in a static condition, with neither evolution nor involution, when the universe to be created is not even in a seed form as it were, it is called Brahman. When it starts evolving into this creation, sustains it, and withdraws it back into itself, it is called Shakti. If Brahman is the coiled serpent in sleep, Shakti is the same serpent in motion. If Brahman is likened to the word, Shakti is its meaning. If Brahman is like fire, Shakti is its burning power. The two are inseparable, one in two and two in one. In the Hindu mythological literature and also in the Tantras, this energy is always pictured as a female deity, the Devi, as the consort of its counterpart male deity. Each member of the Trinity has his Shakti or Devi as his consort, Saraswati of Brahma, Lakshmi of Vishnu, and Parvati of Shiva. However, the mother cult that has evolved over the last few centuries is predominantly centered around Parvati, the consort of Shiva. Mother worship and mother cult are not alien to the Vedic religion, as some suggest. Concept of Aditi, the mother of gods, personification of nature, clearly contains the origins of mother worship. Here is reading.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Sunday service of the Vedanta Society of Toronto. In today's service, we're going to talk something about Tantra. And the topic is reflections on Tantra. We are Vedantists, and we follow the teachings of Vedanta. And what is Tantra? We often hear of Tantra. What is it and how it is different from Vedanta, what its teachings are. So Tantra is also a religious path that has evolved from Vedas. Actually, Tantra evolved from the karma kanda of the Vedas, the work portion of the Vedas, where Vedanta came from the philosophical part or Upanishadic portion of the Vedas. So from the work portion, action portion, where you have to do rituals, came the philosophy of how to find the the divine principle that creates this universe, and as it is said, she has created this universe out of herself. Then it becomes Tantra. Tantra, the word comes from two words, Tan and Tra. Tan is Tanute. It is like stretching, spreading. Something spreads. What spreads? Tra. The saving power, the knowledge that saves us from ignorance is spread with the help of what process, books, scriptures, is called Tantra. It's all about illumination of our heart. It's about realization of the supreme reality, called in Tantra as Divine Mother. It's same as Vedanta is the illumination of knowing who I am, or what is the ultimate reality, the Brahman. Tantra says ultimate reality may be Shiva, but Brahman in Tantra is called Shiva, the actionless, pure consciousness. And the part of power of God, power of Shiva, that is full of activity for creation, preservation, and even destruction of this world, is called Shakti. This worship of Shakti and Shiva, Shiva and Shakti. Like in Brahman we have, like in Vedanta we have the concept of Brahman, the actionless reality, and Maya, that is conjured up, something that creates this universe, is our illusion, as our wrong ideas, mistake. Mistake is also a power, but wrong power that creates. By mistake, this world is created. Who creates that by mistake world? But we create by the mistake this world, because we cannot see that blissful reality that is underlying, and we cannot perceive that, and we perceive only this Maya, and we cannot cross through the Maya, and we cannot see the Brahman. If we could somehow go beyond the Maya, pierce the net of Maya, and go beyond this screen, then we could find the blissful reality. That is the stand of Vedanta. Whereas Tantra says, you don't have to pierce that Maya or Shakti. It is not illusion. It is creation of the Divine Mother, the power of God. And you can find God himself. The goal is to reach Shiva, but Shiva you cannot go by yourself. You are not made for that. You have to reach Shiva with the help of this Shakti, who is Divine Mother. Who is Mother? Why Mother? Because she creates. Mother creates. Mother brings forth new life, like that Divine Mother which brings forth whole universe. And not only Mother creates and brings forth the life, new life in this world, Mother also nurtures that life, takes care of that life, guides that life. So Mother is Divine Mother, nurtures this universe, who has come from herself. And then this Mother, the Divine Mother, you propitiate her, you worship her, you love her in so many forms. Try to find that power that has come and made this universe, and with that loving service, worship of everything in universe as the manifestation of the divine is the way to reach that ultimate reality. Call it Shiva, call it Brahman, doesn't matter at all. What you call is not the thing. You will reach that blissful state, and finally you will realize that Shiva is you yourself. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. You are that Shiva, not the Shiva with mats and logs, but Chidananda Rupa, who is of the nature of blissful consciousness. That Shiva you are. Aham, I am that Shiva. How to reach that Shiva? How to reach that Brahman? How to have the knowledge of true self? There are the different paths. The Purana or Vaishnava path will be one, dualist path. There will be Vedantic path will be another. Negate this world, this all illusion, nothing is there. It is all just you are seeing in illusion this world. Negate, nothing is real. So try to find neti, 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 and you will reach that. Tantra says, no, that is not the way for most of the people. You all have to accept this reality. You are there, you feel you feel its presence, you feel its reality in this world. How can you just say it is not there? Sri Ramakrishna says, when you have cold, you need some black pepper to cure your cold. I want to cure that. And you say, no, world is nothing, it doesn't exist. Just by saying it doesn't happen. You feel it is real, you feel hungry, you have to eat, you feel thirsty, you have to drink, you feel you are living, and yet you say this world is nothing, life is nothing. That is not the way. This is hypocrisy. When you feel it is real, it is real. Tantra also says it may not be ultimate real, but it is empirical reality, it is perceptible reality. That's what the Tantra's way is. Tantra also comes from other two words. It is explained as tattva, or the cosmic principles, or the principle of the reality, and then mantra, tattva and mantra together. And there are some mystic syllables. By nurturing those, by practicing those, you will reach the tattva, ultimate reality, by practicing mantra. Mantra will help you to reach that reality. Is the basic of Tantra. In Tantra, there is some mantra, repetition of mantra, there is guru, there is disciple, there is the process. But in the there is what is then is the what are the scriptures? We know that how Vedanta has the scriptures, Upanishads, Gita, Brahma Sutra, Prasthanatra, three main scriptures of the Vedanta. And there are so many Upanishads. What are the scriptures of Tantra? Like Vedas, Smritis and Puranas, there are three main things. Vedas, Smritis and Puranas. Tantric scriptures are meant for spiritual illumination of human beings. So we have four kinds of scriptures. One is Vedas with all Prasthanatraya. Another is Smritis, which try to teach you how to do sacrifice and all this Smritis. And Brahma Sutra is also a kind of Smriti. And there are Puranas, the story of gods and sages. And there is the fourth one is Tantra. So it is said that these four kinds of Hindu scriptures are meant for four yugas, 4 ages. The one, in the Vedic times, Satya Yuga, Vedas were the main scriptures, where people used to meditate, they used to reflect upon themselves, go into deep meditation. There was possibility of going deep and trying to negate. Very deep thinking was there, not distracted by the world. They were, by nature, people were very reflective and meditative. For them, this Vedas, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahman, all great sayings, Mahavakyas, and you reflect on that. Upanishads become natural scriptures, and you meditate on the teachings of Upanishad. Then came Treta Yuga, where Smritis became main scriptures, Smritis. In the Smritis, it is said what moral and ethical values were taught in Smritis. Sacrifice was done. That is what the tone of Treta Yuga. In Dwapara Yuga, more emphasis on dharma and duties or righteousness, and that is what is described in Puranas. Puranas all taught how to love God, what you should do, how to perform, with the stories of incarnations of God and great sages and saints. Very inspiring and very acceptable. You read those and you feel like, yes, that is the reality. Very enjoyable too. That this Puranas became the main scripture of, main way of spiritual practice in Dwapara Yuga. Krishna's life is all mentioned in Bhagavata Purana, that is the basis of Krishna's life mentioned, and all your Dhruva, Prahlada, all those are there in Bhagavata Purana. So Puranas became the main thing for Dwapara Yuga. This is the view, of course, of the Tantra. And Tantra says, for the Kali Yuga, where life is dependent on food and it is short-lived and people are distracted in so many things, if they want spiritual illumination or they want enlightenment, the best suitable scripture is Tantra. Tantra, because it accepts, because we are ignorant, we consider very difficult to feel this world is unreal, even difficult to feel, put the mind on that high stories of all gods. So take this world as real, as manifestation of the Divine Mother. propitiate Divine Mother. Try to see her in every action and activity that goes in the world. That is the teaching of Tantra. Every activity that you feel is done by the Divine Mother. All good and bad, all the power behind all activity is Divine Mother. In Chandi it is said, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Nama. Oh Divine Mother, you are in every being as the energy, life energy. I bow down to thee. And also says, Mother, you are there in every being as motherhood. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstita. Also you are there in every being as forgiveness, Kshanti Rupena Samstita. Like that it goes on saying, and at one place says, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samstita. The activity of sleeping, resting, the Tamoguna, that is also you. Activity are you, and cessation of activity and bringing to rest for some time to again come back to activity. That nidra, that rest, that also you, and I bow down to that nidra rupena samstita. And it says, Mother, people are deluded, and the delusive power of beings in this world is also you. Ya Devi Sarva Bhutesu Bhranti Rupena Samstita Namastasya Namastasya. I bow down to the delusive power of thine that is in all beings. People are deluded, they don't understand the reality, and that is also you, O Mother. So that's why they say in Kali Yuga, Tantra sadhana is the most practical and efficacious. Tantra says that. Not everyone. There are people of different kinds. It's not that Kali Yuga or Satya Yuga. Swami Vivekananda said, the day Sri Ramakrishna was born, Satya Yuga has started, Kali Yuga is over. So, but we find the same thing, same people living, same sentiments, same people's thought. It doesn't change after Sri Ramakrishna was born. So, where is Satya Yuga? Satya Yuga is in the person. I may be in Kali Yuga, you may be in Satya Yuga. So how you live, what are your attitude, what are your feelings, that it makes you live in Satya Yuga. So this Yuga concept is more than for the cosmos, it is more individualistic concept. So those who in the world, in now, there are people who live in Satya Yuga, there are people who live in Dwapara Yuga, who live in Treta Yuga, like that we can consider if we try to explain. Those who are very meditative, there are many people who go and meditate in the forest, in the caves, practice Vedanta, practice Neti. There are people like Ramana Maharshi in this age. He was a very Sattva-guni, he was in Satya Yuga. So like that Vedantic, like Swami Vivekananda, Vedantic always going to meditation. Sri Ramakrishna in a day goes to 5 times in meditation, always forgetful of his body and ego. They are in Satya Yuga that time. But that very Sri Ramakrishna comes to our Yuga and talks about Divine Mother, asks how to pray, how to live in this world, how to find oneness with all. That he is in different age he lives and teaches to the person who is in different age. He teaches that way. So those of us who live in this age are affected by we have the body identification, we identify with this world, take this world as real. For us, this Tantra sadhana is very efficacious. And in Ramakrishna Order, we have all the practices. We do Vedanta, we do Purana, we do Tantra, we do all the sadhanas combined together, which helps us to have the spiritual realization easily and quickly. That is the idea of this sadhana in Ramakrishna Order. So this Tantra scriptures have 2 kinds of scriptures. One is called Agama, another is called Nigama. In Tantra, though it originated from Vedanta, or Vedas, not Vedanta, from Vedas, but it has its own stories. The Tantra is the teachings of Shiva given to Parvati. Shiva and Parvati will sit, they will talk, and Shiva will talk about the spiritual reality, spiritual practice, effect of spiritual practice, ultimate reality, all that he will talk. So Agama are the scriptures where Shiva will teach to Parvati. Parvati is the student, and through Parvati, Shiva is teaching to whole humanity. Those scriptures in Tantra are called Agama Tantra. And there is another scripture called Nigama Tantra. What is Nigama? Nigama is when Divine Mother becomes teacher and Shiva becomes student. And Divine Mother teaches to Shiva about the spiritual reality, and that is Nigama. So two main scriptures of Tantra are Agama and Nigama. There are three schools of Tantra. One is called Vishnu Kranta. All over India, how these three types of Tantra, three schools of Tantra. Vishnu Kranta, it is spread from central India to eastern India, including Bengal. All over it is Vishnu Kranta. We say Sri Ramakrishna practiced 64 Vaishnava Tantras under Bhairavi Brahmani. And he succeeded in all the Tantras. So it is from the Vishnu Kranta school of the Tantra. Every school has 64 tantras. And one tantra to practice and get succeed in that takes one lifetime, or may not succeed. Sri Ramakrishna did one after another 64 Vaishnava tantra because Vishnu Kranta was common in Bengal area. There is another tantra called Ashwakranta. It is prevalent in southern India, south of Vindhya. It's called Ashwakranta. There is third school of Tantra called Rathakranta. It is in northern India, including Kashmir, Nepal, and also went to Tibet, mingled with Buddhism, and became many rituals in Tibetan Buddhism come from this Rathakranta Tantra. So modified into Buddhism. And this in Tibetan Buddhism, you will find all the rituals which you don't find in other Buddhism of Hinayana in southern part of south of India, in Sri Lanka and all are theirs, where there is more of philosophy, meditation, like that. But in Tibetan Buddhism, there is rituals. They perform fire worship, they offer oblation to fire, as happened during Vedic times in the Karma Kanda area that happened. It is prevalent there in Tibet. So, Tantra often thought to have the Divine Mother as the principal deity. Actually, it's not so. There are 5 Tantras devoted to 5 different deities. One is Shaiva Tantra, by itself, ultimate deity is Shiva. Then is Shakta Tantra, ultimate deity is Divine Mother. There is Vaishnava Tantra, where Vishnu is the ultimate deity. And there is Saurya Tantra, where sun god Surya is the ultimate deity, and Ganapatya Tantra, where Ganesha is the ultimate deity. So like that, there are varieties of Tantra. It's not only Divine Mother is the ultimate in all the, but as the Tantra in Bengal is Shakta Tantra, that's why we think that the whole Divine Mother is the ultimate goal of reaching, the ultimate goal is called Shakti. In Bengal, among the Shaktis also, the main deity is Kali. Kali, there are other forms of Kali also, Dasamahavidya, you must have heard. Each can be the goal, like Tara, Bama Khyapa used to worship Mother Tara. So little difference, 10 different forms of the Divine Mother, Kali, Tara, Shodashi, etc. But in Bengal, it's Mother Kali is the goal or supreme reality, supreme deity of this Shakti worship, of Shakti sadhana. So like that, there are varieties of Shakti sadhana. Tantra has 2 supreme realities, Shiva and Shakti, compared to the Brahman and Maya of the Vedanta. The Divine Mother, divine power, immanent, active power of God is called Shakti. The transcendent aspect of the Divine Mother is Shiva. So similar like Vedanta, Maya and Brahman, like that. Vedanta says the world is illusory. Tantra says the world is real. Not absolutely real, of course, but apparently real, empirically real. The way to reach the ultimate reality is by propitiating and worshipping the Divine Mother, the creator of this world, and not by discarding her. Maya, illusion, discard, say neti neti. That is not the path of the Tantra. Tantra says worship Mother, love Divine Mother, try to see that loving Mother in every being in the world and offer your worship, loving worship to every being, everything, and be full of love and engulf and embrace the world with love. That is the view of Tantra. Sri Ramakrishna saw Divine Mother manifested in the whole creation. She saw Divine Mother not only in the image as we often read, that Mother Kali he is worshipping, and he saw Mother Kali living, accepting fruits, and he started feeding her, and that later on worshipping her, he felt Mother Kali in him also. And before offering to the deity, sometimes he ate himself. Oh mother, you want me to eat first? So he offered the mother residing within him. It was very sacrilegious according to the normal practice of worship. But Sri Ramakrishna, whose vision was different, who could see mother everywhere, for him it is an act of love and acceptance of Divine Mother's order, command. And not only in divine temple and in the good people, he saw Divine Mother everywhere. Once one cat came in the temple and says, oh mother, you have come in the form of cat, take this food. He started offering to cat. Everything was filled with Mother Kali. For him, Mother Kali with the form of 4 arms and all that was transcended. Mother had become everything. The cat was in the form of mother. Once he was going and dog was there nearby. Mother, do you want to speak something to me? He went to the dog. One wicked man was sitting, and he says, I clearly could perceive the divine power of the Divine Mother pulsating in him. She was full of the Divine Mother. Wicked person. Wickedness is gone. All divine presence is there. And he was walking, the courtesans walking, and he saw that women were there. And he said, Mother, you are in this form here. He saw only Divine Mother everywhere. Swami Vivekananda later on had the same experience when he was traveling in Egypt. Suddenly he went to an area, bad area, and other friends knew that that was Swamiji, didn't know. But he saw all women there waiting, and he was totally immersed in the thought of God, and he perceived Divine Mother everywhere, and seeing and finding his attitude merged in the supreme purity. Those women came and touched his hem, his cloth, and said, divine person, like that. You can transcend the vision and perception of this world. If we become pure, whole world becomes divine. That is the goal of this Tantra. Goal of Tantra is to transform our outlook, our attitude, and our perception, to receive the power of the Divine Mother working within us and also manifesting all around us. All is your wish, O Mother. You are the doer of everything, and people think they do. That's what a beautiful song by a Tantrika sadhaka, the spiritual practitioner according to Tantra, the great Ram Prasad, who had realized Mother Kali, had the vision of Mother Kali. He said, Mother, it is you who do everything. All actions are done by you. But people in ignorance say that I have done that, I have achieved that. That is not true. You are the doer of everything. In Gita also, Sri Krishna says the same thing. Karmani eva karmani akarmani yapasset akarmani cha karmaya. In the action, if you see no action, everything you are doing, what is you know? I am doing nothing. Who is doing then? God is doing. And God is the reality. All actions are done by God. This I sense is not true. I am doing, I am achieving. This is the outcome of ego, ahamkara, which is not right thing, which is not true, which is just has entered into us to ignorance. When you transcend that ego, then the Mother is perceived, then God is perceived and is seen as doing everything. Once that Vyasadeva story in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna we find, Vyasadeva was going to cross the river Yamuna, and there were no boats, and he found some cowherd ladies had come after selling the thing, something was left, and how to go. Then he said, can you feed me things? I'm very hungry, Vyasadeva said. And they said, okay, we have whatever leftover yogurt and butter, whatever is there, milk, whatever there's, he fed. Vyasadeva ate a lot. After eating a lot of these things, then he says, oh Yamuna, if I have eaten nothing, please part into two so that we can cross you. Then they all thought that what is he saying? Just now he ate in front of us so many things and he's saying that if I have eaten nothing. Then to their surprise, Yamuna really parted into two. that parting of ocean that we find in the Bible, it is also in Yamuna, in Vyasadeva's story also. So parted into two, and they all crossed the river. They crossed where was the river, that place, walking on the land. So that is why he said, if I have not eaten anything. Because when he was eating, he didn't eat with ego. He all offered to the deity, to the fire that is lying within him. So there was no eating as such to find the taste and all that. So transcending the ego, that's why he said that there is nothing. So that's why this what work we do, the Tantra will say, you are not the doer, Mother is the doer. Shakali tumari ichha moi tara tumi. Tomar karma tumi karo ma, loke bole kori ami. You do all your work, but people by mistake, they say, I am the doer. We are neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Naham bhokta, naham karta. That's what the Vedanta says. Similar teaching, there's no much difference. Tantric sadhana, often there are rigorous sadhanas, and often the problem with tantric sadhana is, even in Raja Yoga also, this occult power come. Occult powers are something that power come, and if you are indulged in that, then there is downfall of that power. The power are supernatural powers that one gets by practicing Tantra sadhana. And in Sri Ramakrishna's life also, the Bhairavi Brahmani had taught two persons before Sri Ramakrishna. One was Chandra and another was Girija. So they learned the Shastras, like Sri Ramakrishna, maybe few of the Tantras, and got some occult powers and were distracted. One had the occult power, they say, could become a small fly. Gutika Shakti. From whole human being, he could transform himself into a small fly. And they say once he did that, entered into the room of a rich man, and there was a rich man's daughter was there, fell in love with them, got good beating, and all power gone, punishment, prison, all happened. That is what Tantra sadhana's occult power can be so dangerous. It is really. This Girija, Sri Ramakrishna made another one. Girija had the power to throw the beam of light from his body. So Sri Ramakrishna and Girija were walking in Dakshineswar once. Somehow it had become dark and path was not seen. Girija said, don't worry, I can show you the path. No torch would carry that time. So Girija rubbed his forehead and beam of light came from it, and Sri Ramakrishna could see the path. After some time, Girija's all power was gone. All his sadhana just terminated into useless some occult powers that create the problem. So that is one danger of Tantra sadhana. One has to overcome the greed to utilize that power for our worldly gains. The goal of Tantra sadhana is not to dispute in philosophies of dualism or non-dualism, but to go beyond both and attain spiritual illumination. The famous verse, Uttamo Brahma Sadbhavo, is from Mahanirvana Tantra. There are Kularnava Tantra, Mahanirvana Tantra, many tantras are there. That Uttamo Brahma Sadbhavo, it's often quoted in Vedanta. Uttamo Brahma Sadbhavo Dhyana Bhavastu Madhyama. Stutir Japa Dhamo Bhava Bahya Puja Dhama Dhamaha. The best spiritual practice is to always remain in the awareness of Brahman. I am that supreme reality, I am pure consciousness, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. It is difficult to remain in that. Then, what is the second? Mediocre. Second, Dhyana Bhavastu Madhyama. Then be in the meditative position and think of your Ishta always there. So that is the second category. You visualize, you see Mother Kali or see Sri Ramakrishna, or you meditate on Jesus and always feel the presence of Jesus in your heart. That is not the highest, that is the second category. And when you do prayer and japam, that is the third category, worship, prayer. And what is worship? With all articles and that is the lowest category. That is the adhama, that is lower than the lowliest. That is what is spiritual practice. Highest is to attain oneness with Brahman. That's what is said in Mahanirvana Tantra. It's a Vedantic teaching, but it's from the Mahanirvana Tantra, it is said. According to Tantra, there are three categories of human being. That one is called Divya Bhava, divine being. They are all already aware of their spirituality. They cannot do anything wrong. They are perfected. They are a spiritual person. And second is called Veera Bhava, or heroic beings. Their attitude is very heroic. They live in intellectual plane and always fight with their lower propensities, intellectual beings. This is called Veera Bhava. All our 6 enemies that we have, 6 alligators, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, lust, greed, anger, all that they fight with that. They are always fighting and conquering those, that Veera Bhava, real sadhakas. After you do sadhana and you have reached that, then it is Divya Bhava, you have attained divinity. And the lowest is Pashu Bhava, where most of the people of us are, where we are so much identified with the body, swayed by our mind, or given into indulgence of enjoying the world. That is Pashu Bhava. Not really doing any spiritual practice, trying to transform ourselves, evolve spiritually. So that's how different kinds of human beings, says the Tantra, are there. When Swami Vivekananda said to one of his brother disciples, Balaram Basu, when he said, so much we had the company of Sri Ramakrishna, so much of wonderful teachings, his blessing, I don't find any change in me. I find the same person I am. Then Swami Vivekananda said, what are you saying? You are associated with Sri Ramakrishna and have got his grace and you have no change in you? Impossible. You were cow, animal. Now you have become human being. Now you will also become God. From animalistic Pashu Bhava to Veera Bhava or Manushya Bhava, then you will become God. Divya Bhava, Devi Bhava will come to you. His grace has fallen on you. Nothing will go useless. So that's why Swami Vivekananda explained. There is another Tantra book called Kamakhya Tantra. The man of Divya disposition is described in Kamakhya Tantra as, what is the person who is Divya Bhava, who always dwells in Divya Bhava, in divine disposition. He is beloved of all. Everybody likes that person who has attained a high level in spiritual life. So he is beloved of all. And he uses his words sparingly, not too much talkative, that's what it says. He is quiet, he or she, okay? He is quiet, steady, and sagacious, very sage-like, saintly person. He is attentive to all. And also it is described that he is connected and devoted to his or her guru. So always he feels that grace of guru could make him what he has achieved. Then he fears no one, fears nothing, and never swerves from the path of truth. So these are the few qualities described for a person who has established in Divya Bhava in Kamakhya Tantra. So Veera Bhava, I said, is brave and fights the inner enemies which are there in the form of our mental enemies. But he is courageous and humble. He is also much evolved to the human level, as Swamiji said. Chilen Guru, Hechen Manus, Hoben Devata. You were cow, you have become human being, now you will become godly. That to Balaram Basu, that's what. And Pashu Bhava is slave to 6 passions. There is another blessing book called Kularnava Tantra. These all tantras are from different 3 schools. So Kularnava Tantra describes 7 rules of conduct to transform your life. It says, first is the Veda. When you have knowledge, you start devoted to knowledge. Then different stages of conduct they call in different way. Vaishnava, Shaiva, Dakshina, Vama, Siddhanta and Kaula, it's a different meaning. So, for practice of this, students' quality all said, they must have physical and mental cleanliness, that this Kamakhya Tantra, Kularnava Tantra says. The students should be physical and mental cleanliness, there should be love for Guru, God, and love for knowledge. And this Dakshina Bhava means consolidation of the gains. Bhama is renunciation. All these steps of different steps according to this Kularnava Tantra. So Tantra is not black magic. Often Tantra is very misused as black magic, as indulgence in some enjoyment of the world. So those are very misnomer for Tantra given by some mistake. Tantra is pure way to realize God. Sri Ramakrishna came here, practiced Tantra to verify that Tantra has got the right path to reach if practiced in the right earnestness to take you to realization of true self, true realization of God. It is not those things said like the black magic and other things are not the part of the Tantra. This all just added to that. Because of this sadhana and occult powers, indulgence in occult powers, people often get that and misuse that thing. And there is, that thing happens. So in Tantra also it is said about Panchamakara sadhana. That in Tantra, some say there is Madhya, Mamsa, Matsya, Mudra, Maithuna. All this is said to be practiced in Tantra. Not that every Tantra needs that. But meaning of this is also not the same as we find the literal meaning of the word. Madhya in Tantra doesn't mean wine, drinking wine. It means nectar that flows in inward from your sahasrara. You meditate and you find peace and some nectar flows inward. That is called madhya. And mamsa is taste and its control. You control your taste. That is called mamsa. It is not the eating and enjoying the very highly cooked meat. So, and matsya is jiva. Matsya is like a fish. Matsya literally means fish. But fish, what is fish in the Panchamakara sadhana? It's not going and eating fish. It is trying to feel the jiva, yourself, like a small fish that swims in the flow, in the current of Ida and Pingala, which are like Yamuna and Ganga and Yamuna, two rivers flowing inside your body. It is there. That in that your jiva flows. You are in the awareness of that subtle flow of Ida and Pingala. That is what is called Matsya. Mudra is coin. That mudra is actually, literally it's coin, but it means meditation on the Guru into Sahasrara. That is called mudra. And Maithuna, often called sex, is not the sex at all. It is like entering of the air into the space, into the lungs. Air goes into the lungs and you have attained kumbhaka, and where your mind is fully under control and it leads to illumination. Kumbhaka, that they call Puraka, Kumbhaka and Rechaka. Breath is inhaled and is come there. When the breath is inhaled and put into the space in the lungs, that is called Maithuna according to the right explanation. So that is what is all about Tantra thing. And in Tantra, of course, we talk about Tantra and overview of the Tantra and do not talk about Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini Shakti is a kind of Tantra Vidya in which there is the all spiritual power sits there in the Muladhara at the base of the spine. And there are two, as I said, two mythological or the spiritual nerve currents through where flows the nerve currents called Ida and Pingala on two sides, and they crisscross at different places with Sushumna, three nerves, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. Pingala on the right, Ida on the left, and Sushumna in the middle. And as I said, Jiva Matsya is like Jiva swimming into the Ida and Pingala. When this Sushumna opens, and through Sushumna, the divine power that rests unused, unexplored, that remains at the base of the spine, that has to be brought and elevated through the Sushumna. By how do you do that? By repeating the mantra, by striking the mantra with the breathing, and that Sushumna power, the divine power, rises in the Sushumna from the base of the spine. Base of the spine is called Muladhara. There are plexus of where this Kundalini rises. So first is Muladhara at the base of the spine. So it rises at the base of the above that is Swadhisthana, and then comes Manipura at the navel level. This Sushumna is on the inside the vertebral column. unseen. It is not there. But mythologically, yogis can see that. And so Manipura is the plexus at the junction of, at the level of navel. And here, up to these three stages, person is very worldly. Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura. If our divine spiritual energy moves only into this, we are worldly person. We try to eat, we try to enjoy, like that thing. But if that spiritual power or divine mother that rises above Manipura or navel level and comes to the heart level, then we have spiritual awareness. And this heart level is called Anahata, here Anahata Chakra, it's all called chakras. And then from heart level, it goes to throat level, and it's called Vishuddha, more spiritual awareness. Then you talk here, you know that spirituality is the real, you are spiritual by nature, this body is just your cage or your covering. In Anahata it happens, you start understanding. Vishuddha, you are devoted to God, you want to talk about God, you want to hear about God. That is Vishuddha, more higher evolution. So from that, if we could raise the divine power, which was lying in dormant at the base of the spine, now has come up to throat, and if you can raise it still and bring it up to in between the eyebrows, in that level, in the Sushumna, that is called Ajna Chakra, then you see the vision of God. And you find that everything divine, all your transformation has already started when the mind comes to, when the spiritual power comes to the level of Ajna Chakra or in between the eyebrows. And finally, when it rises still from that, it goes to Sahasrara. At the head is the seventh and the final chakra called Sahasrara, having 1,000 petals. The yogis have seen petals, lotus-like, and different number of petals, different colors of all these chakras. And when your spiritual power goes there, so if spiritual power at the base of the spine is Divine Mother, when it goes there, it is Shiva sits here. So Mother and Shiva become one, and you attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That's what the teaching of the Tantra is. It also says there is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and when you become aware of your true nature and you transcend your ego and all the awareness of this world and remain in blissful state. So the goal of Tantra is to make us become spiritual, realize spirituality, see that divine power, divine bliss residing within us and manifest everywhere in this world. To divinize the whole world is the goal of Tantra. Thank you.
On behalf of the Vedanta Society of Toronto, I would like to thank all of you for attending the service today. Now for some announcements of our upcoming events. Our regular scripture class will be on Friday, October 31st at 7:30 p.m. This will be online only. Swami will be discussing Uddhava Gita. Friday, Sunday, okay. Our regular Sunday service will be on November 2nd at 11 a.m. Swami will be speaking on Swami Subodhananda. Please visit our website for any updates. At the end of the service, those who wish to continue their spiritual discussion may do so upstairs in the dining hall area, leaving the prayer hall free for those who wish to meditate and contemplate on the message that we just heard. After the closing chant, please join us upstairs for prasad. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Buddha Ki Jai. Jai Isha Musha Ki Jai. Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvasad Buddhimapnotu Sarvatra Nandatu. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all.